So, because I'm bored and have nothing better to do with my life, I created this. Boom. Alien Stage, aka my traumatic hyperfixation. So, brief disclaimer, because of the way the story is told, some of the things stated are theories I found or conclusions I came up with based off of my analysis of the theory of the series. Wow. So, what is Alien Stage? So, it was created by Vivinos on YouTube. It's 11 animated music videos that tell a story. The music aids in showing their characters and their bonds. So, the premise of Alien Stage is that it is an alien singing competition with human competitors. The competitor with the most votes wins. The loser of the round is eliminated or killed. Competitors trained since child. The competitors are trained since childhood in what is called the Enact Garden, and all of the main characters that I'll show in a second knew each other since a young age. So first, we're doing a character overview. So Sua, aka the tragic lesbian. So she first appears in round 1. She is in love with Mitzi, and as we see later in the story, she is not cared for very well by her alien family, and she is the first to die in this competition. Mitzi, or the sad lesbian, first appears in round 1 and is in love with Sua. She is treated by her family very well and joins Hyuna in the rebellion after she is rescued. Till is the rebellious gay. He first appears in round 2. He's in love with or admires Mitzi. I'll go more into detail of how their relationship sort of develops over the series. He eventually does realize his feelings for Ivan, but that's also complicated, and I will explain later. He is abused by his alien family, so that adds more to his character. He refused to escape with Ivan to stay with Mitzi, and he dies in the final round. Ivan, or the yearning gay, he first appears in round 3. He is in love with Till and attempts to escape with him, but like I said previously, Till refuses to leave with him. In round 6, he dies after he sacrifices himself for Till. Hyuna, our fierce queen, first appears in All In. She is in love with Luca and has a brother named Hyunu, probably, leader of human rebellion. She dies in, I think I'm pronouncing this right, Wage? I think that's right. She sacrifices herself for Luca. And then we have Luca, aka Toxic Twink. He first appears in round 5. He is in love with Hyuna. He does fight Hyuna's brother, resulting in the brother's death. Something that's very important about his background is that he is experimented on since childhood, because of his upbringing and sort of his view on life. He's very manipulative and exploits other competitors' feelings on stage, which we will look at with the rest of the series. Which, rough timeline. So, round 1. So, Sua and Mitzi compete against one another. This for now, I'll refer to them as episodes. This episode develops their relationship. It's kind of implied that Mitzi is unaware of the results of losing this competition until Sua dies in front of her. Also, in this round, you can see sort of the introduction of the plot that humans are being enslaved by aliens. So next is the prologue. The video is just called Alien Stage, but most fans refer to it as the prologue because it introduces the other main characters, Till, Ivan, Hyuna, and Luca. It shows more of their background of training for the competition in the Anact Garden, and it does give a glimpse of the relationships that will develop throughout the story. Round 2 is where Till's character is introduced, and we sort of see his feelings towards Mitzi. It's implied in this episode that Till writes his own song for this round and performs it. That's why his opponent looks so shocked, because all of these are supposed to be duets for the competition, but he didn't know the song, obviously, because Till wrote it. So that's sort of a theory that some fans came up with that I agree with. And it ends with Till winning the round. Round 3 is where Ivan's character gets introduced. His feelings towards Till are shown, and in a flashback, it shows Ivan and Till's escape attempt. It's mostly developing Ivan's feelings for Till, and Ivan does win the round, and at the end we see that Ivan and Till will compete against one another. Round 5 is a lot. So it goes straight from round 3 to round 5 because the character that Luca competes against isn't a significant character in the story, and Luca is shown in the beginning of this episode to have won the previous round, and it's Mitzi versus Luca. As described before, Luca manipulates Mitzi or messes with her feelings, knowing that she's still recovering from her grief of losing Sua. And throughout that, because of his manipulation, and you can see him kind of teasing her and like playing with her, she starts getting visions of Sua, and because of this, she gets violent and attacks Luca. After that, because violence is prohibited in the competition, she gets dragged away by guards, and you see a gun being held to her head, but then it flashes to a rebel group rescuing her, and Luca ends up winning the round, but she is shown as missing at the very end. So then the next episode is called Top 3, which it mostly just shows more of the backstory. It does imply that Luca has won this competition before, because I think somewhere I read that this was the 50th season of the competition, and so in the flashbacks shown, it shows that Luca has won before. It shows him on a throne, and it has subtle foreshadowing with Mitzi, Hyuna, and Luca at the end, showing them last, which I will get to that later. So the next one is called Mitzi Sua, which mostly shows how Mitzi and Sua met. Sua is shown to be mistreated by her family, whereas Mitzi is treated kindly by hers. It shows the beginning of their connection as they were being transported to the Enact Gardens. They see each other and try to reach each other through their glass containers. The end shows Mitzi crying over Sua's memory, so this is Mitzi's flashback. The next episode is called All In, where Hyuna's character is really introduced. She's shown as a chaotic rebellion leader, and she's the one who did rescue Mitzi. Mitzi helps Hyuna in the rebellion efforts. Also in this episode, Hyuna and Luca's relationship is shown. How they got to meet each other in the garden, and how her relationship was affected by Luca killing her brother while they fought. At the very end, it shows Ivan and Till are about to compete. Oof. Round 6. Another heavy episode. It is Till versus Ivan. Throughout the episode, it shows Till's resistance to having to sing for the aliens, especially when this is after Mitzi goes missing and he is grieving, not knowing what's happened to her, like thinking she might have died. So he's going through that emotional distress, and it's affecting his performance. It does have flashbacks in this one as well that shows Ivan's protective nature for Till, and even though they fight and Ivan is often reserved and doesn't show his emotions very well, it shows that he's always cared for Till. And so when he sees that he's winning, or that Till is struggling in the competition, he stops singing and he goes up to Till and kisses him. And then, because violence is against the rules in this competition, he starts strangling Till, so he loses points and ends up losing this round. So essentially, Ivan sacrifices himself by strangling Till because violence is against the rules. So it's not the last episode. The final round is Luca versus Till. And like he did in round 5, Luca messes with Till. He knows that he's struggling with not only the loss of Mitzi, but also the loss of Ivan. I think it's implied in this episode that it was the same day as round 6. So during this round, you can see that there's the rebel group infiltrates the competition, and Mitzi abandons the mission to see Till. Because of Luca messing with his head, Till has visions of Ivan until he sees Mitzi in the audience, which doesn't end well because he's about to run to her, he's about to grab her hand, and Luca ends up winning because he messed with Till's head so much and it affected his performance. So Till gets shot right in front of Mitzi and dies in her arms. after he gets shot, we see a flashback of how their bond, his and Mitzi's bond was, and how even if it wasn't a romantic relationship, they were still very close with each other. And the episode ends with Hyuna arriving on stage, and Luca is in shock to see her. So, Wage is the last episode that came out so far. It came out on February 14th, which is crazy because it starts with we see Luca happy to see Hyuna because it's implied that she was in the competition prior to this one, and she did lose her round, which she should have died, but I think the rebel group saved her. So he assumed that she was dead or missing. So he is happy to see her. It shows a flashback where it is implied that Luca has many clones. Possibly his alien family is a group of scientists that experimented on him, and he kills his other clones. It then flashes back to the present, and Luca runs after Hyuna, but because he runs away, the rebel goes to shoot Luca, but Hyuna takes the bullet for him. Just an overview of the different flashbacks that happen throughout this episode. Like I said, Hyuna loses her leg in her escape after losing the competition the year before. It shows all of the characters' childhood in the Enact Garden and their relationship with each other. It shows more instances of Hyuna and Luca's bond and how they're close with each other. And then there's this one scene where it shows sort of the more modern AU of what life could have been if there was no alien invasion. So, their relationships. So, Mitzi and Sua, they saw each other going into the Enact Garden, and in this scene, Mitzi is memorized by Sua, and you can see that sort of throughout the series, that she's always been impressed by her and in love with her and just constantly in awe. And their bond grows as they sing and train together. Mitzi refers to Sua as her god and her universe. Ivan and Till. One of the big things throughout this series is that Ivan wants Till to notice him, but Ivan is reserved and introverted, making it hard for him to make a bond with Till. And then they have negative first encounters as they fight over different things. And also, it's difficult because Till is blinded by his affection towards Mitzi, but Till realizes his feelings for Ivan too late in round 6 after Ivan dies. Hyuna and Luca. So Luca tries to kiss her in one of the flashbacks, but she pulls away. Hyuna despises him because he does kill her brother, but in Wage, her dialogue shows that her weakness, despite her anger towards him, her dialogue shows that he is her weakness, despite her anger towards him. And it's also shown in the modern AU flashback that we get in Wage that they hold each other tenderly and both wear an engagement ring. Lastly, we have song cover and swaps. I mostly found this out through Spotify. It's not part of the video series, but they are. Vivinos posted it on Spotify, the different covers. So, My Clematis was originally sung by Mitzi and Sua in round 1, but the cover is sung by Till and Ivan. Till takes Mitzi's part and Ivan takes Sua's. For these covers, most of these interpretations are the way that I view the songs and the covers, how it portrays their relationships with each other. So for me, it shows the parallels in their relationship where Mitzi has to watch Sua die and Till has to watch Ivan die. So Sweet Dream was originally sung by Sua. I think it was... can't remember. It was the one after... oh yeah, it was the prologue. Sua sings it in the prologue. But the cover is sung by Luca. I think it's interesting because Sua was the first to die, whereas Luca was the winner of the competition. Unknown was the song sung by Till, but in the cover, both Till and Mitzi sing the song. Like I said before, in the timeline, the song was assumed to be about her, so it could be a hint towards his feelings towards her. Black Sorrow. Black Sorrow was Ivan's song that he sang in round 2. But it was covered by Mitzi. Ivan was singing about his unrequited love with Till, whereas Mitzi was singing about losing Sua. This is my interpretation of the song. Ruler of My Heart. First, I'll say Ruler of My Heart is my favorite song in this whole entire series. Ruler of My Heart and I think Cure. Yeah, those two songs are really good. But Ruler of My Heart was originally sung by Mitzi and Luca in round 5. But the covers are sung by Sua and Hyuna separately. For me, I think that it's possibly singing to their lovers, especially with Hyuna. Their lover is the ruler of their heart. All In. The song was originally sung by Hyuna in All In, but the cover was sung by Till. I think it shows the parallels in their sort of rebellious nature. Cure. So there was a song swap, I think. Ivan and Till did My Clematis and Sua and Mitzi did Cure. I think it's similar in that Sua takes Ivan's part and Mitzi takes Till's part, showing the parallels of losing one another. So, my final thoughts. What really drew me to this series was its ability to display an intricate storyline purely through music and the 4-minute long videos. Each character has a unique depth to them, and their relationships to one another is really special. Lastly, the music was a big part of what inspired me to get into the story because all of the singers were very talented. Before I even knew what Alien Stage was about, I was recommended the songs actually through Spotify. And then once I once I started watching Alien Stage, I was like, oh, I know these songs. And so it was really nice being able to enjoy the music on top of learning about the storyline. The end. And that is the conclusion of my most recent hyperfixation.